Happy Sunday, everyone. I know I was missing for a couple of days. I usually do my stop, look, and listen, which I'm going to get back to doing it. But I had some things come up in my personal life, and yeah, my mind was focused on that. But there's neither here nor there. I'm in here today just to give you guys just a little bit of motivation and inspiration as well. Like I said, I had some things to come up, and I've been working on some things, trying to get some things together. But like life happens, and like things happen in life, of course, things unexpectedly happened, and I had to shift my focus and worry about those things, or rather, not worry about it, but get those things situated and taken care of. But nonetheless, I still look at it is everything happens for a reason. And I'm just so grateful to God for the shift in my mindset, for the change in my mindset as far as how I deal with things now. Things that used to would irritate me or throw me off track, it does not do that anymore. Why? Because my mindset changed. And that was because of me, for one, surrendering myself to God and wanting Him to come in and just orchestrate my life how He wanted it to orchestrate, because I know that as long as God does it, then it's going to be good and perfect. I wasn't going to be able to do or accomplish any of the things that I want to do in my life without Him, and I'm grateful for the realization of that. You know what I'm saying? Like things that just was happening, and I'll be like, okay, well, I gotta redo this, I gotta do that, okay, now I gotta do this, now I gotta do that. That happens in life sometimes. You'll get started with one thing, or your mind will be focused on something, and then something else comes up or throws it off track, and you really have two choices. You're either going to allow that problem or issue to defeat you, or you're going to figure out how to get past it and work through it and keep going. You know what I'm saying? Don't let it just throw you off track. And that's what happened with me. I had things that were going on, but I'm so grateful, like I said, for how God has just magnified Himself in my life, that I can think differently. I know how to fight differently in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, my spirit. I know how to fight differently. I know how to deal with things differently in life now. I don't feel like I have to take everything on myself and deal with it alone, because I don't. Because God fights all of our battles if we give them to Him. Give them to Him and stop trying to figure it out and trying to do everything on our own. If we would just give it to Him, He will work things out for you. And, like I said, I just have a whole new way of thinking. And I try to find the good no matter how bad it may look. I know that I'm going to try to turn it into a positive. I'm always going to turn that negative thing into something positive. So for me, like I said, I've been working on some things and stuff like that. And then it was just like one day, okay, I get an email and it's this. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what they're talking about. Let me just see, looking for everything so I can, get some stuff situated and fixed. Then 2 days later, another thing comes up. And then I'm like, you know what? This makes absolutely no sense, because I'm like, you know what? This right here, I'm not even fixing to worry about this. I'm just fixing to do what I can on my end. And if it doesn't work, then whatever. I'll try to go with something else. But then last night, what came to my mind was, don't try to fix that. Start over. Start over. And sometimes in life, starting over is the hardest thing that you can do, because the last thing you want to do is start over from scratch. But sometimes it's necessary, and it's better whenever you start over from scratch, because if you're starting over from scratch, something that you had already begun, then at least you have a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more wisdom underneath your belt, so that you can go into the fight with a new strategy. And I realized, hey, God, I thank you for this. I thank you for this turnaround. I thank you for the interruption, because what I was starting, it wasn't giving me the results that I was looking for. So by me having to start all over again, it's like, okay, I know what to do and what not to do this time, and what to do to make it better. And I'm so grateful to God for that, because I know that there was a part of his will. It was a part of his will, because he knew that in order for me to get the results I'm looking for, as well as everything that I'm just, in other words, it's hard to explain because I don't want to give out any information or anything, because I'm being obedient to God as far as what I let come out of my mouth. You know, God tell me don't tell nobody, I'm not telling nobody. That's why I'm not telling nobody. But I'm just, in other words, I'm grateful for how God leads me and talks to me and teaches me things. But anyway, this verse, I wanted to read this verse to you all. It's Romans 12, verse 2. And it says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So basically, this verse is talking about a shift in your mindset, and transformation starts in your mind. So, of course, the world pushes certain ways of thinking, like fear, doubt, negativity, and materialism. But God calls us to renew our minds with his truth. We have to shift our mindset from worldly thinking to kingdom thinking. And that is so true. That is so true. Because when you thinking with the mind of the world, so many things can defeat you. So many things can stop you from it. But when you start thinking like that of the kingdom, when you start thinking like that of the king, oh baby, you'll know that this right here, oh, that just means, okay, I need to do something different. I need to do something different. See, we don't allow the problems to defeat us when we think with a kingdom mindset. We just learn how to pivot. I feel like someone needs to hear that today. Whatever your setback is, whatever has come up against you, even though it may feel like you're getting hit with one thing after another, don't give up. Don't quit. Pivot. Pivot. Come up with a new plan. Change things. Learn from what wasn't working for you before, and now allow it to work with you. Instead of letting it work against you, let it work for you. Learn from those things. So don't feel like when you have to go another way, that means, well, maybe this just ain't for me. Maybe I don't need. No, 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 no. No, we don't think like that. We don't think like that. Let's start thinking with a kingdom mindset. Let's stop letting every issue, every little situation or dilemma, let's stop letting that steal our purpose. Let's stop letting that steal our plans that God has for us. That happens so many times. You know, a lot of times before you know it, you up in age, years that went by, and you wondering why you still sitting in that same spot. Like, why am I still? I should be farther than this in life. Yeah, you could be if you didn't let everything defeat you. If you didn't just keep on starting over again, over and over and over again, and giving up. Nothing that is worth fighting for is going to be easy, y'all. That's why it's called a battle. That's why it's called a battle. What battle do you know ends in a couple of days, a couple of hours, a couple of minutes, or as soon as you get up off your knees from praying about it? It takes time. It takes time. But you have to learn how to deal with those things and not give up on it so easily. Because who knows, as soon as you get ready to throw in the towel, you just might be on the edge of your breakthrough. I wouldn't want to be fighting for something for years and years and years. And then as soon as I say I'm fixing to give up, oh, just forget it. Boom. There was my breakthrough about to happen. Because we don't know when it's going to happen. We're not on God's time. He's not on our time. Our time is different from his time. His timing is different from ours. But the thing is, his timing is always perfect. And like I said, when you dealing with issues and problems, you can't see that. You can't see that. You can't see nothing but what's going on and what's going wrong. But that's why you have to know who God is. That's why you have to get in your word. That's why you have to read your word so that you can use that as that's your tool. That's your weapon. Your word is your weapon. That's going to help you defeat any and every problem that you're going through. If you're going through depression, if you're going through anxiety, if you're going through a spirit of lack in any area, whatever the area may be, it's in the word. It's verses in there to help you learn how to defeat those things, learn how to get through those things. All you have to do is just pick up your Bible. Then you might be like, well, I'm not into the Bible like that. I can't read. Okay, you scrolling on your phone all day long. Google it. Just ask it to show me, give me some verses. What Bible verses deal with anxiety, or deal with depression, or deal with finances, or deal with business, all that type of thing, sickness, whatever the case may be. If you don't know where to start there, so that you can learn how to fight these battles that we go through on a daily basis. We have all of the tools that we need. We just have to learn how to use them. We have the weapons. We just have to learn how to use them effectively. And the Bible is our weapon to help us in this battle known as life and the things that come along with it. And so for me, like I said, I had some things to come up, and it kind of, as they would say, threw a monkey wrench and everything. But instead of me just feeling like, you know what, just too much, child, one thing after another, just forget it. No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that at all. I'm just like, you know what, God, I look at it like this. Thank you for giving me a clean slate. Now I can start over. Now I know what to do. Now I know how to do things differently. I look at it like that, and that's just what I did. That's just what I did. I didn't look at it as like, just forget this. Because what do I have to go back to? Go back to what? Go back to being unhappy again? Going back to feeling like I didn't have a purpose again? Go back to thinking like I'm just existing and not living? Go back to feeling like with this low level thinking mindset? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that anymore. I think differently. I fight differently. I believe differently. My faith is different. I'm different. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God for that. Like I said, for every change that He has implemented in my life, I'm grateful for that. There's no way I could ever give anyone a testimony without having a test. And that's why I look at everything that I go through in my life now is a test. But how am I going to figure out how I'm going to pass the test? Am I going to fail it, or am I going to pass it? And I'm going to pass it, because I know that on the other side of that test yields greater results than what I had before. If I just continue to trust God and continue to just allow Him to guide me and direct my path. And that's simply what I'm doing. I'm not letting things throw me off track. I'm not throwing my hands up and just saying, forget it. I'm not doing that. I'm steady pushing forward. I'm pushing through to my promise, because I know what God told me. I know what God showed me. But in order for me to get those things, I had to understand that I'm going to have to learn how to get a thicker skin, push through, and not give up. Not give up. And that, I actually feel good today. I'm not feeling defeated or feeling like I said, I just want to throw in the towel. I feel excited about it, because I'm like, okay, now I got to start over, but it's going to be a fresh start, and I'm going to be able to align things the way I want them to be aligned, based on where I am now in my life. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that, because like I said, God truly, truly works in mysterious ways. And I just took this thing that happened with me, excuse me, y'all, is a way of feeling like and thinking to myself, hey, you can make it better this time. Now you can do things like you wanted it to be doing. Now you don't have to be trying to pick up where you left off, or you don't have to worry about trying to add in something new to something old, something that doesn't even speak as far as who you are now today. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it, and I look at it like that. I count it as all joy. But I'm going to leave you with one more verse. Read to you Philippians 4 and verse 19. It says, and my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. So whatever your need is, whatever it is, just know that God will meet those needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to stress about it. Know that he's going to meet your needs. Let's stop worrying so much. Let's stop feeling defeated when we have to start over and look at it as a blessing in disguise. Look at it as a blessing in disguise. And continue to trust God's will and God's ways. Because that's one of the things that I pray and I ask God. I say, God, you know, these are the desires of my heart. These are the things that I want. And but one thing about it, God, just to let your will be done in my life. Whatever it is. If it's for me, it's for me. If it isn't, you know, then it just isn't. But whatever it is, God, I just ask that you will let your will be done in my life. And I'm content with that. So if things just fall through, that doesn't mean, you know, that it's not going to happen for me. Maybe it just means not right now. You know, maybe it just means just a little bit, wait just a little bit longer. But the thing is, I'm going to wait on God. I'm going to trust God. I'm going to believe God and his word and his promises, because I know that to be true to me. And so, like I said, I just want to encourage someone today that no matter what is going on in your life, whatever issues that you have going on, don't look at it as defeat or a denial. Just keep pushing, keep trusting God, and just learn how to pivot. So that's it for today. I hope that you guys have a blessed and wonderful day on today. Remember, always stay prayed up and keep God first in your life. Have a blessed day. Bye.